Well, there you go. Build that wall, build that wall. That's still the echo. That's still the main thing that's driving the Trump supporters. I'm a conservative independent. I'm a big Trump supporter simply because I agree with 99% of his policies, and he's keeping his word. So the rally was great according to everything. Like I said, 100,000 people RSVP. They had people outside watching on the cams, the TV trams, and had them packed inside. And President Trump was, he's in there characterizing the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee as little pencil neck Adam Schiff, who has the smallest, thinnest neck I've ever seen, and someone who is not a long ball hitter. President Trump predicted the former DOJ and FBI officials who pushed the collusion theory and authorized secret surveillance warrants against members of his campaign, whom he incidentally called major losers, would soon have, quote, big problems. So I didn't get a chance to see it because I'm working a lot, but I guess I'll watch the playback. And there's another, the dailymail.co, .uk says the hoax is finally dead. The collusion delusion is over. Trump blasts the Mueller probe fraud, claims the inquest was ridiculous BS, declared he has been totally exonerated, and demands accountability from Democrats and from the media. Are you guys feeling that? Are you feeling that the left are just out of gas? That they don't have anything, that they're going into 2020 now with no fangs, no bark? I do. Now, while this is going on, President Trump did talk about this, and there's a lot of things still going on with the border. President Trump it did say that the wall is getting built. There was some announcement a couple of days ago that the Pentagon shifted $1 billion over to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to start building some wall. So there's segments of it going on. And one of the things that President Trump spoke about, and one of the things a lot of people are worried about, is an article here from Gateway Pundit. Caravana Madre, Mexico warns 20,000 migrants, mother of all caravans, is forming in Honduras. No bueno. So I wish they would put a bunch of people on the border, like 20,000 of our troops, but the president knows about it. When President Trump said, they tweeted that today that Mexico isn't doing anything about this caravan. 20,000 people. A lot of them, they've already broken through Guatemala into Mexico. The new president of Mexico immediately said, no, we actually are resolving this migration issue. So we'll see. But the border is, I compared it in one of my tweets to like a wet sponge. It's full and it's leaking all over the excess. The problem is it's leaking all north. All of the overflow is going one way, and it's into our country in the immigration analogy. Another article here from Breitbart. Department of Homeland Security released 24,000 border crossers, aliens, in the last 2 weeks. 24,000. So, when President Trump does a rally, what's going to be the loudest roar? Yes, they're stoked that President Trump has been exonerated, but still, if you want to get the crowd going, build the wall, build the wall, build the wall. Here's an article from Breitbart. President Trump, illegal immigrants met by Democratic lawyers at the border. During the speech tonight, said President Trump berated Democrats Thursday for causing a crisis on the southern border by promising amnesty for illegal aliens and making sure they took advantage of legal protections. Does that tick you off or what? That is just what that that idea, what President Trump is painting there, the scenario where the freaking Democrats go down and say, keep on coming. We're lawyers, and we're gonna promise you amnesty because the president's eventually going to give amnesty, and these are the things you can take advantage of, and legal protections that we're going to provide to you as illegal aliens. Once you get in the United States, you're actually going to get a lot of free legal aid. President Trump said, quote, Democrats want to pretend that there's no border crisis for one simple reason, because they have caused the border crisis, unquote. Donald Trump said, quote, you know why else? Honestly, because they want votes and they don't want to give us a win, unquote. Trump said the illegal immigrants and migrants crossing the border were met by lawyers who coached them to take advantage of existing legal loopholes in the country. It's a big, fat con job, folks, he said. It's a big, fat con job. President commented on the ongoing crisis during his rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He proudly touted his first presidential veto to the congressional resolution to stop his declaration of a national emergency on the southern border, and thanked House Republicans for blocking the Democrats' attempt to override the vehicle. He said, quote, we're building a wall. We will be finishing the wall. It is moving on rapidly, unquote, Trump told the crowd. Oh, just think about it. What kind of people, now you already know the answer to this, but I'm just talking rhetorically. If citizens from our country that go down to the border and tell people about to break our laws, immigration laws, now why that's not a violation of Section 8 again, where they're aiding and abetting illegal aliens, I don't know. Just because they're illegal, just because they're attorneys, why is that not helping illegal aliens get into the country? I just wish they'd arrest them all. There's a lot. Mayors, bus drivers, ACLU, all these groups, churches. Yes, I'm a Christian, but a church that will sneak in illegal aliens and harbor them are breaking the law. Well, no, because the Bible says not to turn away the aliens. No, see, this is a conversation we'll have down the road, and I'm going to do it on ktoruth.com. I have a social media page set up for Christianity and politics where it intersects. We're going to go over this. What the left, only time the left wants to use the Bible is when they go deal with illegal immigration or socialism. Well, you're supposed to give freely as you're able to. So they take the instructions to the church, to the people of faith, and then they want to say separation of church and state, but then the government should act like a socialist Jesus misinterpretation. And they should take in everybody. Even though illegal aliens are coming from countries where they have food, they have housing. Then they go through Mexico where they're offered jobs and asylum, and there's food and housing. And then they come here. Well, we have to take them. They're aliens. No, they're not. They're illegal aliens that broke even international basic protocols by not applying for asylum in the first country they come to when, quote unquote, fleeing their country of origin. So President Trump just wanted to remind people, there's actually, the left is down at the border telling them you're going to get asylum if you cross over, and you have a lot of free legal help once you get in. Here's an article from AP. Now, this is one of the main things I wanted to cover. I knew I had way too much to go over tonight, but I'll try to squeeze in a bunch here the last 20 minutes. This is from the Associated Press, from Jonathan Lemire and Jill Colvin, from about 2 hours ago. Trump turns Mueller probes finding into political weapon. I believe the fake Russia collusion hoax probably, along with the economy, and if the wall can be shown to be getting built tangibly, I think those three things make it pretty much 99% chance that President Trump's going to be reelected. It would go against all statistical probabilities that with a booming economy, that people would go in and pull a lever to say, I'm doing much better than I used to financially, but I want to go back to when I struggled. That's not how it works. That's what Carville said to the Clinton staff when he was trying to get Bill Clinton elected. It's the economy, stupid. Don't get bogged down with other stuff. Just stay on the economy. Well, this article says that the Mueller probe finding, President Trump is using it as a political weapon. This says, presenting himself as both vindicated and vindictive, fired up President Donald Trump on Thursday tonight, turned the findings of the Russia investigation into a political weapon at a Michigan rally that was part victory lap and part 2020 campaign push. Trump unleashed a fervent diatribe about the inquiry, which he deemed, quote, the greatest hoax in the history of our country, unquote. He warned that those behind the probe, quote, would be held accountable, unquote. You really got to think about that one. And I was talking to Jeremy Hansen and some other people over the last couple of days. What was Jeff Sessions doing? Was he actually just working on a massive amount of indictments that would be followed up on when the collusion story collapsed in the end, and then they were ready to go after Comey and Brennan and Clapper and Rice and Page and Strzok and all of them? We'll find out. But President Trump says those who the Rosenstein and the Christopher Steele and everybody, the Clintons, and anyone that signed off on the dossier, the FISA warrants, would be held accountable. He said, quote, after 3 years of lies and smears and slander, the Russia hoax is dead. This was nothing more than a sinister effort to undermine our historic election victory and to sabotage the will of the people. Now, this is AP saying, this is President Trump turning the Mueller probe from 2 years of chaos and really kind of stifling him at times to now for him to be able to say, hey, the deep state that you elected me to go in and the swamp to go in and drain, look how it's actually worse. It's actually worse than even imagined. But you know what? Let's go ahead and finish the job of, then he said, drain the swamp. The rockling 82-minute speech unfolded before a boisterous crowd in a key state that Trump swiped from the Democrats in 2016. It marked his first political event since Attorney General William Barr released a summary that said Special Counsel Robert Mueller found no evidence of that his campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government to influence the 2016 election. With the cloud of the probe largely lifted, Trump is hoping to win re-election by keeping Michigan and several other Rust Belt states in his column. Quote, it's going to be much easier the second time we're one for one, unquote, Trump boasted. And you heard him earlier in his speech. He said the Democrats have to decide, are they going to apologize or are they going to double down and just try to keep the hoax going? Well, here goes the answer. We're gonna finish up on this. I won't be able to get to everything. I went over some of the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Nielsen saying that the border is just maxed. The assets are maxed, and they just have to turn people over and let them go right now. That's how bad it is. But this is how the Democrats, since they don't have a plan B, this is how they're going to try. Here's their plan. From the AP also, Dems mock, quote, scaredy cat, unquote, GOP. Demand Mueller's full 300-page